Good afternoon. Today on Business Success in Six with Stacie, I have Carrie Airway here from Lela Boutique in Milwaukee. Carrie, thanks for jumping on.
Thanks for having me. It's great to meet you.
It's nice to meet you as well. I'm really excited to share your business, Lela Boutique, with our clients and community and your experience. So if you're okay with it, I'm going to ask you 6 questions about Lela Boutique.
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. When people ask you what your business does, how do you describe Lela Boutique?
Yeah, Lela is, I like to say we're a retail place that offers both new and consignment clothing in a bright and happy space with nothing but positive energy. And we try really hard to help every person that walks through the door feel better about themselves when they leave, whether they bought something or not.
That sounds like the kind of place I'd like to come to. So thank you. And you're very, very specific about what you are. So that's great.
Yes,
Second
very.
question. What were your plans when you started your business and how have they changed?
So I have opened my business in 2003 and I thought, well, I wouldn't say I knew exactly what I wanted to do, but I did have some clear visions of what I wanted Lela to represent. And I really wanted Lela to represent a place or offer a place for people to shop in an affordable and a non-intimidating format. I moved to Milwaukee in 1995 and I had a very, very meager budget and I really loved shopping. And I would come home after shopping, having a day of what I thought was going to be nothing but fun. And I would come home feeling pretty deflated because the stores that had interesting things were not really they were not interested in me as their customer. And so that does a lot to your, it's not good for your self-esteem to come home from shopping and feel like, they didn't want my business. So I really wanted to address that as a store. I wanted to be a place available for everybody, regardless of what they were willing to spend, able to spend, or wanting to spend. Secondly, I saw an opportunity where there were these incredibly talented fashion designers, and at the time, pre-social media, pre-Etsy, pre all of the things that we now have as tools and take for granted, these designers were in classrooms and studios building incredible pieces of art, but had no way of selling it. They undervalued themselves. They didn't feel comfortable talking about it. They didn't see what I saw. And I always say, I couldn't find my way, design my way out of a box, but I could sell ice to an Eskimo. So let's put our two skills together and let me create a pretty or an approachable environment that will showcase what you do well, and I will be your business person to help sell your stuff. You stay creative, I'll be your salesperson. So that was number two. And then number three, I'm really passionate about building a neighborhood or building a community. And so I saw my location in the third ward as really a terrific opportunity. There was no public market yet. Broadway was still a very commercial street with vendors that did fruit and produce exchange during the wee hours of the morning. And so there was as much selling of dresses in those first few years of business as there were days of talking to people coming in, young, people who wanted to be an entrepreneur but didn't know how or where or why or when, and to help them navigate a little bit, like, here's how you should write a business plan, or here's some people to talk to about loans, or here's some of the things I talked to my landlord about. So those types of things. Those were my three things that when I opened were really important to me.
Sure.
And it has grown incredibly, obviously. So, the neighborhood
Absolutely.
doesn't look the same at all. So
Well, and that whole area has evolved so much too. So that's pretty neat that you've been able to grow with the area.
yeah,
Very cool.
very, very fortunate.
So what is the biggest way you impact the community? I know besides obviously what you're just talking about.
Yeah, I'd love to, I don't know, say that I do something big and grand, but I do think that dressing people for the day they're going to have or the event that they're attending is helping my community. I have a great list of clients that do count on us to be the place that they go if they know they have something important coming up. It's a special event. It's going to be a difficult event, like whatever it is that they're emotional about. If it's a happy or a sad emotion, Lela is part of that fabric. So to, that's a really bad pun, but like we can be
It's a
the
good one.
place that they can find solace in knowing that at least they won't have to worry about what they're wearing. They'll feel good in what they're wearing. And it doesn't have to, again, I go back to, it doesn't have to break the bank. We could find you your dream dress for $24 one day. And then next month, when you come in and you have another event, you might fall in love with the dress that's unfortunate for your budget is $250. But you know, like it ebbs and flows. You never know what you'll find. So
Yep.
that's a very micro level how I help my community. On a macro, I think that just sharing positivity and spreading that kind of energy to every person that comes in the door is a blossoming effect for our community.
Absolutely is. That is the key to life, is spreading that positive energy, and it just flows. So thank you for doing that and for recognizing that.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're welcome. I agree. I think more people could benefit from recognizing it.
Absolutely. So the fourth question is, what is one challenge you have faced that other business owners could learn from? You've been in business 20 years now.
Yeah, a challenge that I had early on was just understanding the importance of letting go, not controlling everything, you know, go with the flow. Those are things that now are just second nature. But I would say in those early days, you really, really dig your heels in and are no way anybody could do this as well as I could do it. So I'm not going to let them. And so that was a big learning curve. And I would say now, like the mantra all day long, trust yourself, fail often, fail fast. Don't sweat the small stuff, believe in yourself, all those things. You know, when you open, you think when you start a business, you think you have to do everything right the first time, but that is really just, that's silly. Like who does everything right the first time? And why do you work hard? You work hard when you allow yourself to not be good at it so that you can take small chunks to improve. Like that's how we get better. So that's what I would say is my biggest challenge and learn.
Yeah, huge challenge. And it sounds like you've conquered it so well. And that's something that some business owners are never going to let go. And we talk about this all the time with our business owners. If you put a cap on yourself or on your employees, your business isn't going to grow and thrive the way you really want it to. So
Right. Yeah.
thank you for sharing that. That's really, really significant. The fifth question, what does the future look like to you? And do you have an exit plan?
I would love to say that I have an exit plan, but I also will say I don't feel like I need one. I am very, very fortunate to have surrounded myself and created, with the help of others, a team of really loyal and dedicated employees. That there's a group of 12 men and women that make Lela, and it's kind of amazing. Like it works when I'm not there. So why would I leave it? Like, yes, it's different. Everybody has a different style and everybody approaches the customers in their own way, but everybody has a following and everybody loves representing Lela, just like I do. So it's pretty awesome. Like I have a pretty win-win-win situation.
Yeah.
And so I don't really see a need. Like my work-life balance is I like to say my work-life balance at about year 15 became what I envisioned entrepreneurs' work-life balance looked like on day one.
Wow.
Does that make sense? Like, you
It
know, everybody's like, oh,
absolutely
you're
does.
so lucky. Oh, you get to be your own boss. Oh, you get to do all. No, you don't get to do any of those things right away. And so I feel lucky that I've ever reached that place, but I have been in that position and I don't see that. I mean, you don't know what the future holds, but currently I plan to enjoy, just keep on keeping on.
Absolutely. Congratulations for getting to that point too, because Action Coach always says it's a business is defined as a commercial profitable entity that runs without you. And if you can step away and trust your employees like you do, you've got it. So I do have a side question. So a lot of your employees, you said they have their own following.
Yeah.
Can you share a little bit more about that? That's really fascinating.
Well, I mean, shopping is a personal thing and this is going to sound a little, I'm pigeonholing, but I feel like my experience is that women are much more personal shoppers. Men are not as into shopping. You tell them it looks good on them and they'll buy it in every color because then they're done with that for the year. Women, it's kind of an emotional thing. Some people genuinely hate shopping and they're afraid for whatever the reason. They are afraid of it. They have body issues, which is also a big learn. When I started, I'm like, oh my God, the most beautiful people walk in and still have a hang up on some ridiculous part of their body. Like my fingernail doesn't look right, like, so it's easy for me to look at that and say, okay, everybody has issues. So let's just help them with their issues to feel the best they can within their issue set. But everyone on my team has a different look, has a different style, has a different approach. Like when I hire, I'm not hiring you because you love fashion. Like I'm hiring you because you're coming into, Lela is like a home. And in our home, we're hosting people all day long. And so you are going to host differently than me. And so there's a following because quite frankly, not everybody's likes the same way to be approached.
Absolutely.
Some people want to be left alone. Some people really, they want to be handheld from the moment they walk in the door. And so we all have a different following because of our different styles.
That's really, really unique. And thank you for sharing that. Once again, you're hitting it on the head. People, not everybody wants to be talked to. I remember my dad, went to buy a ring for my mom, but he was, he looks like a farm boy. He went into a jewelry store. Nobody would approach him and didn't realize that he was ready to spend a couple grand.
Money to spend.
Yeah. But so if you can find that person that you can relate with and make you feel comfortable, you're going to have a lifelong customer. So it sounds like that's what you're doing.
Well, and I've been very fortunate. Again, it comes in time. It doesn't happen overnight, but I have the newest person on my team has been with me for 2 years, and the next one in line is a 5-year, a 7-year, an 8-year, an 11-year, like they've been part of Lela for a long time. So it would be kind of weird if they didn't have a following, quite frankly, really.
Sure. I guess. Wonderful. Thank you. And the last question, all subjects open. What inspires you most?
It always has been, and it will always be people. Like I love meeting people. I love hearing their stories. I love sharing stories and like learning from people. So like people will always be my inspiration.
That is beautiful. Well, thank you, Carrie, so much for your time today. Now, I always ask a call to action. If people want to go to Lela's or get in contact with you or find out hours, what's the best way for them to do so?
Sure. Well, the most active place, the place that you're going to see the most changes and updates is going to be on our Facebook page. And that is facebook.com/shop Lela, Lela. But we also have a website, lelaboutique.com. So.
Well, thank you so much for your time today. You have a wonderful, wonderful 2023, and I will see you in Lela.
Likewise. Take care.
Thanks, Carrie.